Hi everybody, Dr. David Alter here. Welcome back. Today I want to talk with you about the February theme that I addressed in the website drdavidalter.com, and that's the theme of connection. I want to talk with you about some unusual perspectives that you might take about what it is that makes a connection healthy and long-lasting that you can chew on for a while and see if it helps you to strengthen and improve your connections to others so that you can enjoy the benefits, the loving and health-enhancing benefits of good, healthy, and strong connections with others. The first counterintuitive point I want to share with you is that the strength of a connection ultimately begins with separation. To connect, we have to recognize that from birth, we get separated from that Garden of Eden where every possible need we could have as an infant growing in the womb is taken care of without a thought on our end. And once we come into the world, we begin the process of literally having to learn how to advocate for, how to negotiate with others so that we can get our needs met effectively. So the first point about healthy connections is that they begin with a recognition of our separateness and how that separateness requires of us the development of skills to assert, negotiate, and advocate for ourselves effectively. Many of the clients that I see have struggled with that because of all sorts of early family circumstances that had them growing up in environments where the willingness and or ability of the caregivers in that family system to actually effectively meet the growing child's needs in ways that respected the individuality and the uniqueness of each child. There's a lot more we could say about that, but let's go on to the second point. The second point I want to make about connections is to recognize how early on in a relationship a lot of what draws us to one another happens outside of our conscious awareness. There's an old songwriter who had a line in one of his songs that love is chemical, and I actually agree with that, at least in the beginning of a relationship, when we recognize how the initial attraction is designed to bring us together, but that kind of chemically based, hormonally based attraction cannot sustain us over the course of a lifetime. It helps push us in the direction of beginning to explore more mature ways of asserting, advocating, and seeking ways to negotiate to get our needs met and to enable us to effectively meet the needs of the other. We can't rely on that unconscious connection to last not just a lifetime, but sometimes even weeks or months or maybe a few years before that kind of connection runs out of steam. A third perspective on connection is that our ability to form loving, lasting connections depends in part on our ability to learn to love being alone with ourselves. Learning to love our uniqueness, to enjoy being with ourselves, and to find different activities, hobbies, and interests that cultivate our relationship with ourselves is actually an important part of helping us be a good partner to others and to select partners that are probably going to be able to meet our needs as well. Point number 3 then is the health of our connection to others depends in large measure on the health of our connection to ourselves. The fourth point I want to make is that for a relationship to last a long time, it has to be fed. It has to be nourished. And what are the skills that are really well documented as helping with that? It is, again, something that we bring. It's our appetite for novelty, for curiosity, and for flexibility. A relationship has to be refreshed or it grows stale. Our connections don't remain vital and vibrant unless we keep refreshing them. And there's really nothing I have found that helps a couple or an individual to do that better than the extent to which they get in touch with their ability to be curious, to seek out new experiences, and to show flexibility in how they respond to situations that are new and challenging to them. So the fourth point is that if you want to fertilize a long-term healthy relationship, practice developing your skills at being curious, novelty-seeking, and flexible. The final point that I want to make today takes us back to where we first began. We come into the world and experience that initial separation, and frankly, at the end of our lives, we experience that separation again when we leave the world, or those closest to us leave the world before us. So the last point I want to make is that sense that I am separate from you and you are separate from me, that although we may have a lot in common, we may love one another and feel connected to one another, at the end of the day, you are separate from me. That fundamental truth helps me to see you as a unique and separate individual, and it prompts me to learn to be able to accept you as you are. You're not an extension of me. You weren't put on the earth to take care of my needs, nor was I put on the earth to take care of yours. We can negotiate that with each other, but because I can learn to see you as separate and unique, I can also begin to appreciate and hopefully love that uniqueness because I see you as a unique and separate individual. So today I've shared with you some new ideas, hopefully new ideas, about some of the building blocks that make for lasting, healthy, lifelong connections. You can read more about it in the blogs that I put up this month. I hope you enjoy them. I'll see you again next month. Take care.